Africans and the Kenyans are going to be welcoming, very welcoming to the new guests. Now this all comes, of course, at a time when our relations really are on a roll. And I said this the other night as well, but we've had so many things recently. We've had, of course, ties, security. So we have done a lot. And there's more to come. And part of it, frankly, is due to this direct flight already. Because we see, even today, as we're sitting here, meetings going on in New York and soon in Washington, around more trade, around the ability, of course, Kenya Airways, Kenya Airports Authority, so many people have made this possible. And they all really deserve a huge vote of thanks, except for
Principal Secretary, Nyc-Kq.
Excellency, the Deputy President of the Secretary, enabler for the achievement of the Big Four economic development agenda. The Ministry of Tourism and the Kenya Tourism Board should take advantage of this new route to grow the demand for Kenyan tourism in the U.S. We should target double the number of visitors in 2019.
We're cleared to flight level 100 to PMA to on a heading of.
Just for him here to let him know we received the flight plan from briefing as per him. So he knows why he did that for him. I said that is to him.
here with us, the Chief Administrative Secretary, Honorable Chris Obure, Chairman Kenya Airways, Michael Joseph, distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols observed. Good morning. Today is an exciting day indeed, as we celebrate and welcome Kenya Airways' direct flight from the US. I am honored and privileged to welcome all of you to celebrate this momentous day. As we cast our minds back, it is hard to comprehend how far we've come. It is a journey that began in 2010, and it has not been an easy journey. A lot of people have been involved in all the work required to get us to this point, and I want to thank them all. We at KAA regard the arrival of this flight from JFK Airport to JKIA as an important milestone in the aviation industry in Kenya. We believe there is a large untapped market in the US and look forward to increased business opportunities as a result of this flight. Ladies and gentlemen, we expect these direct flights to boost passenger traffic in and out of JKIA. During the first quarter of this year, KAA handled 1.815 million international arrivals and departures and 439,000 local arrivals and departures, a total of 2.25 million arrivals and departures through JKIA, a 10% increase from the last financial year. We will now be in a position to compete with other African countries which have direct flights to the US. We strongly believe that aviation in Kenya is on the rise and the future is indeed bright. This new route will contribute significantly to increasing US-Kenya trade. In this regard, we have sufficient cargo capacity of more than 1 million tons per annum. And besides that, we have new transit sheds which are in the process of being developed, which will enable an additional 150,000 tons of cargo to be handled per annum. I must say that the direct flights are incredibly exciting for JKIA as they further strengthen our position as an aviation hub in the region. The short connections will make JKIA the hub of choice for business travelers, tourists, cargo, and conferences. Distinguished guests, this entry into the US is an endorsement of the international aviation community of the investment we have recently made at JKIA in improving infrastructure and enhancing security, safety, and passenger experience in our airports. We are at the moment in the process of finalizing the design work for the refurbishment of the older terminals in JKIA to create more room for business and enhance passenger experience. We are also focused on enhancing customer experience at all our other airports in line with our new vision, stress-free travel hub. I want to assure you that we shall continue with our commitments of providing a world-class service seamlessly throughout the passenger's journey, from the moment they disembark to the point they leave our airports. I want to emphasize that KAA is firmly committed to ensuring continued provision of high-quality aviation services to all our customers. We will continue with our collaborations with our stakeholders and play an active part in the transformation of aviation in Kenya. And finally, I wish to again congratulate Kenya Airways for this major milestone, and I'm sure that this route will prove to be successful indeed for your business.
Nyc-Kq Tourism State Department Joe Okuru, Chief Administration Secretary Chris Oburu, the United States Ambassador to Kenya, Ambassador Robert Godek, Chairman of Kenya Airports Authority Isaac Wanda, all protocols observed, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I have a prepared speech, but really I just want to say I'm very proud of this moment that we finally arrived flying from New York to Nairobi. A fantastic achievement. And you know, my job really is to say thank you to many, many people. And if I said to name all the people who have be here, Your Excellency, for another day and a half. So I just want to say thank you first of all to the crew who brought us here, fantastic service, to the captains, to the flying crew who chose the best route, so we made it in less than, just under 13 hours. And also now to thank you, Your Excellency, and for your government that has made this happen. Without the government's continued support, both morally and also financially, we would not be where we are today. Thank you to KAA. Isaac, pass my congratulations on to your team for making this happen. For many, many people within Kenya Airways, some of them sitting here in front of me here, who made this happen, this is a great moment for you and for your airline. For all the support that we've had from many, many people, thank you very much. As I've said many times before, this opening up the New York route for Kenya Airways marks the turnaround in Kenya's future, in Kenya Airways' future. This is a great symbol of our coming back from where we were before and returning the pride to the pride of Africa. I want to thank many people, but I want to say to you and to the government that now that we've opened up this route, this is now the time now to build those bridges between the United States and between Kenya. Now we need to make sure that we treat the people that come to Kenya, some of the people sitting in this audience, who come to Kenya to visit, to do business, to see our wonderful country. This is how we need to make sure that we treat them well so they can come back more and more and bring all their friends back with them in the future. And finally, Your Excellency, I would like to thank Boeing. We have a representative from Boeing here who made a great aircraft that allowed us to do this in such a short possible time. Thank you. And KCA, I should not forget to mention KCA, Captain Kibbe and his team, who allowed the FAA to give us the certification to fly from here to New York and to the US. The future looks bright for us. I know I've been asked many times, what's next? So hopefully next year, once we have finally completed our code share agreements with the various American airlines, that will open up new routes. Our next plan for the United States is obviously to go to Atlanta and to Washington. Those will be the next routes that we'll go to. And I look to you, Your Excellency, and to your government's support for helping us make this Kenya Airways really the pride of Africa. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Deputy President William Ruto, Chairman Kenya Airways Michael Joseph, all other distinguished guests, waheshimiwa, mabibi na mabwana, hamjambo. Habari zenu? Mambo. Poa sana. It is great to be back in Kenya. And I have to say, it's been a whirlwind 36 hours. So I hope you'll excuse if I'm both a bit brief and a bit casually dressed. But it also allows me to tell you how fabulous this new flight is. This is an extraordinary success. And I can tell you from personal experience that the service, thanks to the Kenya Airways crew, was perfect. That the piloting was brilliant. The flight was smooth. The food was great. It was quick. It was really extraordinary, and in addition to saying thank you to all of the pilots and the crew and everybody who's behind, the luggage handlers, everybody who made this possible, so huge. I think we should give all those people a clap, huh? I also want to say thank you to Boeing, of course, who makes an absolutely fabulous aircraft, the Dreamliner and the GE engines that helped get us here in a very, very short space of time. You know, this direct flight is a game changer. It is a historic development. It is going to bring Kenyans and Americans closer. It's going to connect us even more closely than we already are. We have a 55-year history together since your independence, but this is new, and this is going to be truly transformative in my view. It will allow more tourists to move back and forth. Americans to come to Kenya, yes, but Kenyans also to go to my beautiful country, the United States. It's going to allow more business. It's going to bring business people, new investment, new trade. It's going to bring students, academics. It really is going to be transformative. And I do hope and I do believe that on both sides, both the Americans and the Kenyans are going to be welcoming, very welcoming, the new guests. Now this all comes, of course, at a time when our relations really are on a roll. And I said this the other night as well, but we've had so many things recently. We've had, of course, the visit of His Excellency President Kenyatta to Washington and a meeting in the White House with my president, President Trump. We've had the visit of the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, who was so graciously hosted by the First Lady of Kenya, Mrs. Kenyatta. We've also had trade and investment delegations. We had almost $1 billion worth of new trade and investment deals signed. We had a bilateral defense forum meeting where we helped further strengthen our ties and security. So we have done a lot. And there's more to come. And part of it, frankly, is due to this direct flight already, because we see, even today, as we're sitting here, meetings going on in New York and soon in Washington around more trade, around new opportunities to do business. We'll also see more government-to-government meetings. The delegation there, led by Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Monica Juma, is, I know, doing a great job helping to represent Kenya, as are your business people. So I'm very grateful for all of the possibilities. And I will tell you as well, very exciting, in just a week's time, a trade delegation from Florida, the state of Florida, is going to arrive on this direct flight, and they're coming here partly because of it. So already we're seeing this flight. I do want to say just a huge thank you to everybody who made this possible. Isaac and others have talked about just how long this has taken, and it has been a decade of hard work by a lot of people. And I want to start by saying thank you to His Excellency President Kenyatta, also to you, Deputy President, thank you. Thank you to the Cabinet Secretary for Transportation, James Macharia. Thank you, of course, to all of the other officials at, Civil Aviation Authority, of course, Kenya Airways, they've done things, Kenya Airports Authority, Johnny Anderson. So many people have made this possible, and they all really deserve a huge vote of thanks because they put in they've done a hard job. They've done a lot of great work. I also want to say thank you to the team on the American side, certainly the TSA folks. They worked hard, they brought a lot of assistance and support to help make this happen. FAA, they did a great job, a lot of colleagues in Washington, and of course, the team at the embassy here in Nairobi. They've also contributed, so thank you as well to all of them. So in conclusion, I just simply want to say it's great to be here on this truly historic day. Together, we really did get the job done. Pamoja tusonge mbele, asanteni sana. Thank you.
Sabura, my colleague, Principal Secretary for Wildlife, Dr. Margaret Mwakema, the Ambassador, American Ambassador to Kenya, who was just spoken before me, Chairman of Kenya Airports Authority, Isaac Kawondo, Chairman of Kenya Airways, Michael Joseph, all protocols observed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to add my voice to the speakers before me. Today is not really a day for speeches. The government is well represented here by His Excellency, the Deputy President, so really, you don't really need to hear from me. But since I'm here, I might as well just add my voice to congratulating everybody who was involved in this. This is a great day. For tourism, it just speaks tons. You've had the speakers before me. America today is our biggest tourist destination. With this direct flight, we anticipate another 15 to 20% increase in the tourists coming into Kenya, and that speaks tons in terms of employment, in terms of foreign exchange earnings, etc., etc. So for me, I am just excited. I thank God. I thank the team that was behind here. I thank the presidency for leading this effort and making sure that it comes to bear. And I am so touched that nothing happened on the way to New York and on the way back. We haven't had anything negative, we've just had good stories. And so let's just keep it there and ensure that this is sustainable for the country, Kenya. Thank you very much.
Kenya Airways, the Chairman of Kenya Airports Authority, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Amjambo nyote. On behalf of the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, I wish to say how delighted we are to be part of this initiative, the inaugural flight by Kenya Airways to New York and back. Now we know that the flight that left here on Sunday evening arrived in New York safely and within time. We also know that the return flight just arrived, which we all witnessed this morning, also safely and ahead of time. We like to say that we like to believe that this is now a new beginning. I want, on behalf of the ministry, to congratulate Kenya Airways and to urge the entire business community, the private sector, to take on from here. As a ministry, all we can do is to facilitate development of transport and infrastructure. And we're inviting entrepreneurs and everybody around us to take these opportunities, exploit them for the benefit of this country. With those few remarks, it's now my singular pleasure to invite His Excellency the Deputy President to give us his address.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Please take your seats. Distinguished guests, diplomats, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Jambo. Very good. Indeed, it is a very, very proud moment for us as a government and as the people of Kenya, including our friends from the region. Before I make very brief remarks, this flight that has been talked about in a very positive way, picking up from where the US ambassador left, the wonderful experience that was that became the historic direct flight between Nairobi and New York. That would not have been possible without the men and women behind the wheels. I don't know, you have some wheels on it. And behind those powerful engines. Captain George Mooley, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for us to celebrate this great Kenyan for being part of this history and making it happen. From all of us, my friend, congratulations. And your team. And I will ask George Mooley to introduce members of this great team.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you, everybody. We are very proud to have done this flight. It was a great moment for us. But it's funny that it was very easy for the aircraft to do. The aircraft is such a good performer. I had the privilege of leading a very talented group of people, some very singular individuals who worked as a team to make this happen. And I'll start with my co-captain. This is Captain John Mahugu. First officer is First Officer Rajesh Varsani. First Officer Hussein Adam. And leading the team in the cabin is Cabin Manager Victoria Matalanga. And also leading the team is Senior Flight Purser George Omundi. We call him the OG. All right. All the team from the back. We have Rachel Odongo, Sheila Makori, Claire Lukoba, Milka Ndore. We have Pegoti Cherotich, Pauline Kitonga, Joshua Mukolwe, Leslie Sanya, and Colin Zoginga, and Michael Onyango.
Good people, let us be upstanding and clap for these great people. Again, a round of applause for this great people. Thank you very much. Thank you, George, and your team. we are very proud of you that you made this happen. Please, you can take your seats. Thank you very much. Throughout the history of mankind, the ability to overcome long distances has always been a precursor for increased opportunities in trade, in culture, and in tourism. The introduction of the direct flight to the United States holds the same promise for Kenya today. In today's global economy, the reduction of flight time by about 10 hours is a game changer. It changes tourism, it changes trade, and it changes the whole aviation industry. Deals can be made faster, tourists can travel more conveniently, and goods and services can reach their destination a lot sooner. I would like to congratulate the team of Kenya Airways and the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority for meeting the stringent conditions necessary to make this happen. This is indeed a moment of pride for Kenya and Eastern Central Africa. The United States of America is Kenya's leading tourist source market, accounting for 12% of all our arrivals, taking over from the UK that has been traditionally our tourist source. Last year, arrivals rose to 114,000, a 17% jump from 97,000 in 2016. This contributes to, as I said, 12% of all our total arrivals into the country. In the past 8 months, that is January to August this year, the US was still in the first position with 83,000 arrivals. We expect this to grow by between 15 and 20% by close of the year, meaning that we will move our tourist arrivals by an extra 20,000 persons traveling to Kenya from the US. The commencement of the direct flight between Kenya and the United States repositions Kenya as a more accessible destination for the American market. This is strategic because the US is one of the world's best performing outbound markets, according to the World Travel Monitor, and second largest source market in the world after China, according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization. Direct flights to the US will enhance JKA's stature as a regional hub airport and as the key gateway into the East and Central Africa. We expect the numbers of transit passengers to increase as well. This is part of our strategy to improve our regional competitiveness in the aviation sector, which accounts for about 5.1% of our GDP. The aviation industry will continue to play a critical role in Kenya's economic development, growth in line with the Vision 2030, and remain an enabler for the achievement of the Big Four economic development agenda. The Ministry of Tourism and the Kenya Tourism Board should take advantage of this new route to grow the demand for Kenyan tourism in the US. We should target double the number of visitors in 2019 and more beyond. If you work hard, hand in hand with the American travel industry, such growth is very feasible. The Nairobi-New York route will also impact the Kenya economy directly. The route will boost trade in both directions significantly. It also strengthened Kenya's positions as the travel and business hub of East and Central Africa. As we speak today, 48 high-profile international organizations and American companies have already their regional hubs in Nairobi. They include the United Nations, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Google, IBM, General Electric, Visa, among others. We definitely have room for more American investment and presence in Kenya, and the direct flight enhances our credentials on that front. Congratulations again to Kenya Airways, and I want to commit on behalf of the government of Kenya that we will continue to position Kenya Airways and JKIA as strategic investments for the growth of both our economy and our tourist numbers. I also want to encourage the Kenya Tourism Board to take advantage of the strategic positioning of Kenya and the obvious leverage that we have in the region. We should have, Mr. Chairman, we should have a very big billboard here saying, "Welcome home." This is the only destination in the whole world. It doesn't matter where you come from, whether you come from Asia, whether you come from Europe, whether you come from Australia, whether you come from wherever. Kenya is the cradle of mankind. This is the place where humanity began. And when we welcome anybody coming from anywhere in the world, we should proudly tell them, "Welcome home." Before they went, wherever they went, this was home. And Kenya Airways should have a very big welcome from wherever you'll be flying from, that we are proud to fly you home. Those people coming from all those other places. We must harness that potential. We must also tell every person coming to Kenya that this is the country where you can make history easily. And for the record, let me tell you a few facts. Maybe you might enrich your pamphlet. The current monarch of the UK became queen while in Kenya. The president who handed over and destroyed apartheid in South Africa, Nyc-Kq, was born in Eldoret, Kenya. I don't have to say the relationship Kenya has with the first black American president, Barack Obama. And so, if you hang around Kenya long enough, you could just make history. So I think it is historic again today that we have that very first direct flight between Kenya and the US. And I want to thank the men and women who made this possible and single out Bob Godek, who has taken this flight to and fro, Roy, chair of Kenya Airways, for doing the same, and all the other people who did this to make this happen. Again, to all of you, a very big congratulations. It is said, to whom much is given, much is expected. So, as we celebrate this event, Isaac Awondo and your team just know that you need to up your game. Customer experience is at the heart of any success in the travel industry. So we expect you to improve on the quality of service available, make immigration easier. Let us leverage on technology to make visas much more readily available so that we can make the experience of coming to Kenya, or for that matter, the experience of coming home, that much more. So again, this is a very proud moment. Congratulations to Kenya Airways once again for making Kenya proud and opening new horizons for the Kenyan, East African, and Central Africa people in the whole world. Thank you very much, and God bless you.